Hello everyone and welcome back to Orange Studios. In today's tutorial we are going to handle episode 2 of the December package. Now if you've not seen the December package yet, there's the episode 1 which we handled. It looks more like this. We are going to handle the episode 2. The episode 2 to handle with the event details and all of that. We will still play around it very quickly so that you know how to go around it. So the festival will definitely have a calendar to it. Do you want to share that also? Now in the previous episode, what we learned to do, we learned how to edit this, move it away from the original image, which was this, how to crop this out, and then we ended up having this. And then we also learned how to add this effect you see on the image. So let me even add this so you see the effect it has here. It gives you the old school vibe. We also learned how to do the crown, use the mouse to draw the crown. So if you've not seen the episode 1 yet, you can just do that after this video. So moving on to it, we want to drop our elements, and we're going to do it very quick. So first of all, we want to drop this here. Alright, so we're now going to convert this to soft light. There's blend modes. Let's put it in a group and then call it the background. I'm putting it on lock because I don't want to move it around while I'm working on other things, so it's stable. If I take off the lock, for instance, on this, it moves around, okay, and I don't want that to happen, so I put it on the lock. Now the next thing I want to do is to bring in the image. Wait for a while. Okay, it comes in. And this time around, we want to do something different. We're not going to use the same effect here, but we are going to remember, if you watch the first episode, we kind of apply the layer mask here. We are going to take it off for this, so delete, and we are going to also delete all of this just so that we can start all over for you to see how it goes. And let's make it big. Okay, first of all, let me just flip it. I want it to align here with a face facing this side of the screen. So image, all right, you want to go to edit, and then transform, flip horizontally. This is it. So I can now drop it over here. Control T to bring out the transform, make it a bit bigger, drop it here. I would also want to reduce the size of these circles. I'll probably move it up this way. Once I'm done with this, let me move over to move away from any shape, and then take the pen to draw a shape like this. So with this, I'm just trying to create it's a music festival, right? So I'm just trying to create this effect of a headphone. The headphone is bigger than the head, but just to give it that feel, that effect. So let's zoom in. First of all, let me link all of these images together. So when I move one, I move all together. So select all, select the first one, hold on the shift key, and then select the last one. All is selected. Right click and then select this link layers. So what it means is that once I move this, let me zoom out so you can see. Once I move this, I'm actually moving everything that is linked, all the layers that are linked. Okay, so let me pull it up and do a quick selection around this. So I'm going to use the pen tool, all right, to select. So we can actually do a quick selection by using this magic wand. Sorry, not the magic wand, but the quick selection tool. Let's select this image and try and create a selection around the dress. I'm going to do a quick one so you have an idea of how it goes. And then with your hand on the Alt key, you realize it's selected this side. So press on the Alt key and then start selecting areas you don't want to have as part of the selection. So something of this sort. You can zoom in to be sure you have the selection you want. You can actually click on this, or shortcut key is the Q, to make sure you can see the areas that are properly selected, so you are masking it out. Now with this selection done, with this, you can now tell which areas of the dress is yet to be selected, or which areas you want to mask out that is still masked. So you can use the brush to reduce the size of the brush, and I'll start painting. So I'll use the black to fill around the areas you don't want to work with or deselect. Now in the first episode, we learned how to do the same thing with the pen tool. So if you want to learn how to do this with the pen tool, because the pen tool to some extent gives you a very accurate selection, because you decide where to select. So now I want to erase this part of the selection, so I've just toggled over to white, and now I would clean. You can either hit here or kill to bring out the selection again. With this selection done, we are assuming this is the perfect selection we want. What we will do is to apply a new layer and then move over to the paint bucket tool, which should be found somewhere here. It's usually either the gradient tool or the paint bucket tool. So the shortcut key is J. If you can't find the gradient tool or the bucket tool, then once you find it, you can now choose whichever one you want to select. Let's assume you want to fill in with this color, so you come over to this area and then just click. It fills it in with the color. You don't have to go through the pen tool process. So Control D to deselect, and like in the episode 1, we want to apply a gradient overlay here. So let's try and work with something around orange like we are seeing here. Let's go back to this. This was the previous gradient we used. Let's make this a darker orange color like so, and then change this to a much brighter orange. So with this effect you are seeing here, you can learn how to do that in the previous episode 1. We can choose to take this off, and it will just be the half toning. We just added another effect, and it gave us the twirl look. Select the move tool and then double click on the side. So what we want to do is to now come over here. You realize there are 2 handles here joined together. Press and hold on the Alt key if you are using Windows, or Option key if you are using Mac, and then you can now split them in 2. So what happens is that now the color effect you want to happen on the shirt now takes the form of the shirt. So instead of having a flat image, which you could actually do, it works, it's nice if you want to have it that way, but if you want to have the shirt picking the color as in the original color, then you can go through this process and you have it there. Once again, we can choose to apply the texture we had in the previous episode, which is this texture you have here, on the image or not. So let's see how it goes. If it works nice, we work with it. Let's work again with this same texture here. Drop it here. Let's see if we can apply a color overlay, a gradient overlay, and then let's make sure it's clipped to this so they all fall in line. We have to max out the areas that affect the skin, and then select the pattern here, press and hold on the Control key, and then click here to have the selection appearing, and just apply masking, and it marks out the areas that were not selected. If it doesn't happen the way you see it here, you can quickly go to select inverse and then do the same thing. Now we would also apply the same trick, or probably use a blend mode this time, like this. But because of the effect we have here, the blend modes are not working. So what we can do is to right click on this side of the layer, not here, this side, and then rasterize layer style. Now once you do that, your blend modes would apply, and then you can choose whichever one fits best. Alright, so there we go. This is the effect we have. Now with this done, we just drag off. Fortunately we have not yet linked the additional layers to the layers we initially linked. So let's do that by selecting this and then link layers. So once I select this, every other thing moves along with it. I can now drop this here. I can as well change the effect or the gradient effect on the crown, so it stands out a little different from what we had initially. So let's see which one works. Okay, this one too is cool. Now I want to type in our event organizer's name here. Alright, so now let's type in the event name, which is Afro Night. So let's change the font color to white and then use this font Survivor. Like in the first episode, we want to convert this to a shape, and then we'll do some quick manipulations to it, and that's how it goes. Like, we want to select all of this using the direct select tool. You can find it here. So there's the direct select tool and the path selection tool. We are using the direct select tool, and then you drop this using the down navigation key. Drop it down. Yeah, this is okay. And now you would drag this here to cover this. So this is cool. Yes, and we can use the path selector. Select this, not all of them, but just this, and then move it a little bit away from that so it gets centered. With this done, we are moving over to this now. So now we want to use the direct select tool. Select this. Alright, so if there's any clarity you want to see on how the manipulations was done, you just basically do this so that you can own the font, you can own the design, it becomes yours. So if there's any clarity you want to know how to go about it, basically if you want to select all of this at once and move or manipulate, you use the path selection tool, select around it. You realize that all the anchor points are become filled up, they become solid. Now if you use this, you can select just one anchor point like this. Let me use this like this one. So you realize that just this is filled and the rest are hollow. Okay, you can also do this. Use the same direct select to select all of them and then move, but it's okay, you use this, it's perfect to use this, then you can move. And once you have this selected, you can transform if you want. Then I will now type out what I'm looking for. Let's spacing this a little so that it looks good. Make this capital as well. Cool. And then Control T to bring our selection. Reduce the size. Take it up here. Right click on this side to apply some effects on it. So we are going to apply the stroke, and then we are applying the drop down shadow. So now let's change the color of this from this to, let's say, that or this, whichever one is good for you, but it's okay. And then I'll drop this here. I'll drop this, which is already available. I mean, how to go about this was done in the first episode, but I'll try and make some of these elements available. Most times people send messages, they want to see, they want the elements. It's good to have the elements, but it's best if you have a hand over how to do them and you don't have to depend on the elements that are used here. You can go all over it by yourself and do it. So I advise that you create your own elements as you follow the tutorials, and it will help. So that's about that. So now with this done, I can select this, which is the alpha edition, beyond the return, and then the Afro Night all together, and then try and center them. Okay, then Control T to bring out selection. I can try and then turn them around so that they are all aligned to the same angle. We want to make it big so it gets the attention. Okay, so we can put this in a group. Control J to put this in a group, or you can just come over here to the folder and you have it in a group. Alright, so we want to apply a stroke to this. To apply a black stroke, you can pick a color from the background, increase the size of the stroke. And if you want to add a drop down shadow, you can. If you want, I mean, it's cool without a drop down shadow anyways. So we can reduce the size of the stroke to say 40 and see how it looks like. Okay, this is okay. Let's increase it a little. So Control T to bring out the transform. Try and increase it. Alright, so if you wanted to know how I went about this, we are going to create it now, so you have to pay attention. Now, is this, just draw a shape tool or a rectangle. Use the shape tool to draw a rectangle. Use the pen tool, shortcut key P, to add anchor points. So I'm going to bring down the rule line so I have same selection on both sides. So add anchor point here. Add an anchor point here. So let me increase it so you see what's happening. We are going to use a direct select tool to move the anchor points. So shortcut key is A. We are using the direct select tool, not the path selection tool. So you can move it this way, you move it that way, and do this. Hold on the anchor points with your hand on the Alt key, move it, and you can let go of the Alt key, and then you can move this to give you the sharp edge. Same thing applies here. Select this anchor point, move it with your hand on the Alt key, move this. Make sure the handle aligns with the part here to have a sharp edge. Then you can let go of the Alt key and move this, and that's it. So I basically typed it out, so I will not have to waste too much time typing all of this out, but you get the point, you get the drift. Just put out the event calendar outline, event outline here, and basically that's then again we add the sponsors. This brings us to the end of episode 2. Episode 3 is on its way. It's mad. It's just a conclusion of the Afro Night designs. Then we'll move on to something else, which should be, I don't want to let it out now, but should be around something edible. Let's see how it goes. But this is it. This is what we can get for you today. I just hope you like it, and if you did, you know what to do. Now let me zoom in for you to have a close look at it. Once again, pay attention to the details we have here, to the details we have on the face, the crown which was taught. Pay attention to the details here. You realize that the background is not too imposing, but it's still visible and it's on the eye, like you can see it, you know. So basically that's it. Yes. Okay, so there we go. This brings us to the end of today's tutorial. I hope it was very helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to this channel. And if you have any question, kindly leave that in the comment section and I'll respond. Have a good time.